All right, we're back. This is page 11 of Notes 1 of Calc AB. It's the last page of the first set of notes, and that's pretty exciting. Also pretty exciting is there's nothing really due here. It's just that you get to share all the things that you memorized, right? So this is a page of things that need to be memorized, which hopefully are memorized, but maybe haven't yet been memorized. So let's do this. So the derivative of a constant is definitely 0. We know that. The derivative of a power function, so that's x to the n, is going to be n times x to the n minus 1. So these are the basics. Constant multiple rule, the derivative of c times f of x is, I'm going to say c times, I'm going to say d dx of f of x, because I don't like to mix my notations, but you could say c times f prime, totally fine. The derivative of f of x plus or minus g of x is going to be f prime of x plus or minus g prime of x. So I guess I do like mixing my notation. It doesn't really matter. It's fine. Product rule. Derivative of f of x times g times, that does not look like a multiplication symbol. Let's not even put one. F of x times g of x is first derivative of the second plus second derivative of the first. Okay, quotient rule. The derivative of, so I like to think top and bottom. So I'll say it's bottom derivative of the, maybe these multiplication signs are just not working for me right now, so I'm not going to put them in. Derivative of the top minus top derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. So I'll put that whole thing in parentheses. All right, bottom derivative of the top minus top derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. Got to have these memorized. Your trig functions, for sure. Okay, so we got cosine. I'm going to go straight down. Secant tan. I think this is the best way to learn them, like mix them up every once in a while. Secant squared. E to the x gives us e to the x. That was the best. All right, a lot of cofunctions in this one, which means a lot of negative signs. Negative sine of x. Negative cosecant of x, cotan of x. Negative cosecant squared of x. And then this one is the trickiest because it's not just 1 over x. You gotta preserve that the domain. So x is gonna still be greater than 0. And 1 over x doesn't know that, so you have to tell it. All right, so we got that. 2 super important lines. All right, secant line. So I think a picture is fine on this. Something like this, and then a secant line. Say this. So I'm going to say that this point is like a f of a, and that this point is b f of b. And so the equation, I don't know, just, use point slope form. I don't know, secant line, line that goes through 2 points. It's good enough. Tangent line. So tangent line, a little bit different, right? So you got a point of tangency, and then let me try this. And then you have your tangent line, right? And so for this one, the slope is equal to f prime of, I'm going to say a, right? So this is a f of a. And then over here, I guess I could clarify a little bit that the slope is just going to be f of b. It's the average rate of change on the interval. So average rate of change, algebra and slope, they are the same. Over here, instantaneous rate of change, the derivative, those are the same. And slope of the tangent line. All right, so 2 different definitions of the derivative. So the one that gives you a function, I'm going to say f prime of x, is the limit as h approaches 0 of f of x plus 8, bad h, x plus h minus f of x, all divided by h. Now, sometimes you'll see that filled in. So give me a second here. So this is going to be f prime of a. And this one, the limit as x approaches a of f of x minus f of a over x minus a. So if you have everything on this page memorized, you're going to be in pretty good shape going forward. If you don't have everything on this page memorized, things are about to get very painful for you because we just assume that you have all this stuff memorized. And so we're just blowing through problems that you can't keep up with because you're like, where did a secant squared come from? Well, it's the derivative of tangent, and you're supposed to have that memorized. The one thing I was going to point out is that this right here will sometimes have x substituted for. So you can also have f prime of a be the limit as h approaches 0 of f of a plus h minus f of a. So all my x's became a's over h. So that will sometimes happen as well. But anyway, this is like super important page. So make sure it's all in your brain and it never leaves your brain. And I think that you will be okay. So that's the end of notes 1. I'll probably be back in the next video talking about notes 2 if you're following along. But anyway, I hope you're finding these helpful.